Attention, Real Madrid fans. Breaking news. The club is about to undergo a major squad shakeup, and an important player's future is uncertain. Before we continue, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything about the biggest club in the world. Here, you stay up to date on everything happening at Real Madrid, always with hot news and sharp analysis. Let's get straight to the point. Real Madrid kicked off the season with a complete squad overhaul. 4 key signings have already been made: Trent Alexander-Arnold, Dean Huijsen, Alvaro Carreras, and the 17-year-old Argentine prodigy Franco Mastantuono. With these arrivals, the senior squad now consists of 25 players, meaning some tough decisions and cuts must be made. And yes, some names are already on the list of possible departures. Among those with uncertain futures are Fran Garcia, Ferland Mendy, Dani Ceballos, David Alaba, and even Rodrigo, who saw his role significantly reduced last season. According to internal sources, Rodrigo lost prominence after the arrival of Bellingham, and now, with Mbappe officially joining the attack, his situation has become even more delicate. There are whispers that Real Madrid would be open to selling the Brazilian, if the offer is right. The same goes for Ferland Mendy, who has dealt with recurring injuries and hasn't shown consistent form. Fran Garcia, brought in with high expectations, hasn't convinced the coaching staff. Ceballos, though Spanish and a Betis Academy graduate, never found regular playing time under any coach. And David Alaba, despite his experience, is coming off a rough season plagued by injuries. Speaking of injuries, the second major story of the day involves one of the team's biggest stars, Jude Bellingham. The 21-year-old Englishman recently underwent shoulder surgery after dealing for months with a nagging injury that limited his performance on the pitch. The decision to operate was made together with the club, shortly after the FIFA Club World Cup campaign ended. Bellingham traveled to London, his hometown, on July 15 to undergo the procedure. And this past weekend, he shared a striking image with fans, a clear view of the surgical scar on his left shoulder, showing just how serious the operation was. On social media, Bellingham wrote, "Finally left this pain behind. Thank you all for the messages of support, and thanks to the club for trusting my recovery." According to medical forecasts, Bellingham is expected to be out for at least 2 months, which means he'll miss the beginning of the La Liga season and possibly Real's Champions League debut. His absence represents a massive challenge for Xabi Alonso, who now has to reshape the midfield without one of his most creative players. As a result, Valverde and Camavinga are expected to take on more responsibility in the creative department, while Arda Güler and Brahim Diaz may see increased playing time to prove their worth. And if the midfield is concerning, the defensive line is also under heavy scrutiny in Valdebebas. Despite Dean Huijsen's arrival, Xabi Alonso was not pleased with the team's defensive performance in the Club World Cup semi-final, particularly with Raúl Asensio, who showed signs of instability. Given this scenario, the coach has already requested reinforcements from the board, and one name that stands out is French defender Ibrahima Konate, currently at Liverpool. According to Defensa Central, Konate has already given the green light to Real Madrid and is excited about the idea of wearing the white shirt. However, the deal has proven difficult at this stage. Liverpool is unwilling to let the defender leave immediately and would only consider a move starting in January. Konate's contract runs until 2026, which allows Real Madrid to take its time, perhaps repeating the same strategy used with Trent Alexander-Arnold, securing a pre-agreement or waiting for the contract to run down for a free transfer. William Saliba of Arsenal was also considered but chose to stay in London and renew with the Gunners. That means Konate is now the primary focus. Florentino Perez, José Ángel Sánchez, and Juni Calafat are continuing quiet negotiations with the players' camp and view this as a market opportunity, just like they did in past successful moves for Rudiger, Alaba, and Alexander-Arnold. Konate, it seems, is thrilled by the idea of playing at the Santiago Bernabéu, and believes that moving to Spanish football could be the perfect step in his career. This directly contradicts previous reports claiming he was happy at Liverpool and had no intention of leaving. If Konate does arrive, it would reinforce one of the squad's most vulnerable areas and offer much-needed defensive security for the season ahead, which includes La Liga, the Champions League, and the expanded Club World Cup. Meanwhile, the transfer window remains busy. Rumors suggest that Premier League clubs are monitoring Rodrigo, and an official offer could land any moment. Offers above €100 million could be enough to start serious negotiations. But within the club, the debate continues. Is it worth letting go of a young player with high potential, even with a squad full of stars? A final decision is still pending. And don't be fooled into thinking the changes stop there. Real Madrid is in full transformation mode, and these shifts are all part of a bold plan led by Florentino Perez and his staff. The goal is crystal clear: renew the squad, keep the team competitive at the highest level, and ensure that Xabi Alonso has everything he needs to implement his tactical philosophy. This process requires unpopular decisions. Fan favorites like Rodrigo and Alaba are being assessed with cold logic, not due to a lack of talent, but due to tactical fit. Xabi Alonso is building a side that's more intense, quick in transitions, and aggressive in pressing. To achieve that, he needs the right profiles, not just stars, but players fully committed to his system. Take Rodrigo, for example. He's a gem, no doubt. But adapting to the new system, with Mbappe on the left, Vini in a more central role, and Alexander-Arnold overlapping on the right, hasn't been easy for the Brazilian. He could become a victim of success, losing ground due to the arrival of even bigger names. In midfield, Ceballos might seem like a natural fill-in while Bellingham recovers. But the coaching staff doesn't see him as a player who can sustain the intensity Alonso demands. That puts him firmly on the potential departure list. In defense, Konaté's possible arrival could be a game-changer. The Frenchman, standing 1.94 m tall, with physical strength and tactical awareness, could form a rock-solid duo with Eder Militao, who's coming back from injury eager to reclaim his spot. That leaves Alaba, often sidelined with fitness issues, at serious risk of losing his place permanently. Another key point is the youth movement in the squad. The arrival of Franco Mastantuono, for instance, shows that the club is keeping an eye on long-term talent, but isn't afraid to give them chances now. The 17-year-old Argentine has already made waves in early training sessions. Sources say Xabi Alonso was impressed by the youngster's tactical maturity, and there's a real chance he could make his debut this semester, especially during Bellingham's absence. That reflects how Real is smartly blending youth with experience. In addition, the club continues to monitor the market, particularly for last-minute opportunities in the summer window. If a major sale happens, like Rodrigo's, Madrid could go hard for another attacker or a left-footed centre-back, a profile Alonso specifically wants. So what about you, Madridista? Which of these changes surprised you the most? Would you keep Rodrigo, or accept a huge offer for him? Is Konaté the right name to strengthen the backline? And what about Mastantuono? Do you believe he's ready to shine in the white shirt? Drop your thoughts in the comments, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications. We'll see you in the next video with more behind-the-scenes updates, transfer rumors, and breaking news from our Real Madrid. See you next time.